Hello, 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 and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're taking a look at the other two showcases that we haven't had a look at yet, and then we're going to have a quick look at the developers' journal and see what they have to say about this pack, the Arctic pack, coming tomorrow for Planet Zoo. So we'll get started with the Dall Sheep, which is a sheep from Yukon, and is actually a decision the decision to put this in the game was a real out of left field because everyone was expecting something like a muskox. But I gotta be honest, something like a muskox, even though it is a caprine, same as it related to the Dall sheep, I think the fur shader couldn't really get the texture of the fur. At least the one currently in game. I think it would look weird. But I understand that this is a very good choice, and I think it's very interesting to have this animal because it feels kind of left out. But this is an interesting choice, and we'll just watch this video. Oh, there was to get a good look at him. I see. It looks like the male here. I really like how they did the eyes with the sides with pupils. And this baby looks quite cute. One thing that they mentioned in the Zoopede is that you can tell its age by its horns because they have growth rings. So I think it's very. I really like how they did the horns. They did a really good job of getting the shape of it because they do look ridiculously weirdly shaped. Carry on watching. Well, that's a really good look. Oh. Oh, look at that. That's a really good model. I really like how the fur textures come out and the face looks pretty onto it. I really have nothing to really critique about this. It's a very nice looking goat. Oh, Arctic pack. Nice. I cannot complain about that. That was a very nice looking animal. So next we'll move on to the coup de grace, the one that everyone has been waiting for, the polar bear. Starting off, I love that little. I think that sounds beautiful. Really sets the mood. And then we get a good look at our polar bear. Look at that. But looking at that, I really like how they did the face. The face looks quite good at the moment. You can see the because polar bears are a bit more streamlined than other bears since they're a bit more adapted for swimming. You can see that they have a bit more of a streamline going on. But looking at this, you can see that the fur around the face is probably a bit much. I would personally just thin that back a little bit. So have a look, carry on. So you can definitely see that that looks very good. Again, just looks a little bit too puffy. Very cute baby. So that gives you a good look. You can see the long streamlined body. He's got a longer snout. And the baby looks quite cute too. I think it's a really interesting posture. See, yeah, there we get a look at it standing up. So that looks pretty good. Like it's got the long neck. That looks like a much better posture. That looks much more accurate. You can see the longer limbs is a little bit more streamlined. You see the longer body. It looks pretty good. I can't complain too much. Yeah. That's cute. I can't wait to see these in game. Then I'll probably have a better idea of what they look like. We'll have a look at the scenarios, of course. So the game's coming with, this pack's coming with two scenarios, which I'm definitely doing on the channel. But as we wait, we will read through this. Okay, so hey yo, park managers, and welcome to another developer journal. This time we'll be talking about the Arctic pack. Yeah, please give a warm welcome to senior artist Chris Martin and artist Jack Griffin. So hello everyone. Thank you for letting us talk about the Arctic pack. So this is what Jack said. Planet Zoo Arctic pack includes 4 new animals: the polar bear, Dall sheep, reindeer, and Arctic wolf, along with 200 new building, scenery, and foliage pieces. We even have a set for festive scenery. Now that's going to be cool. We get Christmas trees, hopefully. We've also included over 20 new blueprints, including staff buildings, habitat shelters, natural scenery, and sculptures. It'll be interesting to see what those are. The building pieces were inspired by Nordic architecture, which has really given us the freedom to create unique, authentic feeling building pieces. So that's cool, because who doesn't love Vikings? They've got a really unique style to them, the architecture, so it'll be interesting to incorporate that into our parks. We looked at wooden Norwegian houses and Scandinavian maritime heritage. We tried to introduce the seafaring history in a subtle way through the kinds of shapes we used to design the scenery. I can definitely see that. You get a bit more of a rustic feel. It's being weathered, and plus, the polar bear is probably the most aquatic animal in the game, other than like crocodiles. It's technically a marine mammal under law. And you'll see throughout the pieces have a lot of curved shapes, especially with a curved triangle shape where we've incorporated to give the feeling of a ship. So we can build nice ships now. That's awesome. We've also looked at the types of materials used by these cultures, such as weathered wood. Yeah, that definitely helps, which is a common material used in the set. We brought in carved wood patterns often to see on and inside in Scandinavian buildings to bring added interest to certain areas. And if you looked at the screenshots of past, you can definitely see that. So you can create a little bit more architecture to draw interest into certain areas. Like you could have a walkway where you go in and then you see these wonderful carvings. I think that's a good idea. So now it's Chris's turn. We've also included new ice and snow assets for you to build upon your frozen landscapes and make yourselves a winter wonderland. We really wanted the ice to look cool, so we're using some fancy ice shaders using 3D surface tech to give our assets a real depth and shine. There's also a set of festive variants of the black spruce with lights and bubbles to bring about a holiday cheer. So yeah, we're definitely getting some Christmas trees. And I really like how they're putting a little bit of effort into the ice and snow because I feel like that area got a little bit neglected in the original game. So it's good that they're kind of fleshing out this area a little bit more. Be interesting how what they flesh out in the future and what other packs and stuff they'll plan to do. But I think I kind of like the festive idea. You can put some Christmas trees. It'll be interesting how people use them creatively. Now we're back to Jack. The most challenging part about the new assets was creating the first building that captured the look and feel that we wanted. We wanted the Nordic feeling with these buildings that felt they have been lived in and have history. We also needed to establish a clear language for the set where it was able to stand on its own and clearly distinct from the already existing ones. So they had to create another language. With the curved triangle motif I mentioned earlier, we were able to use that to tie in the whole set with shapes and materials. So they basically created another Planko language. Oh no. We also wanted to communicate the cold environment of the Arctic and the scenery pieces by weathering the walls through bleaching of the sun and snow, along with introducing cracks and layers of staining in the wood to age it. For us, it was important to give a feeling of history in our scenery to allow our players to create zoos with authentic buildings. So I like that little bit of detail that they're going into to try and give the feeling of some old, tough buildings that have been weathered through many winters. So I really like hearing about that. Chris, as you mentioned, communicating the cold environment, it's funny how development goes sometimes. We had a final review session to make sure the assets were up to scratch and try out building with some of the pieces. During the stage, we had noticed we had a great selection of ice chunks, and the buildings were looking great. We were overlooked an important feature of any frosty landscape. Icicles. Oh no, they looked over icicles. How could you do that? Before we finished work on the Arctic pack, I managed to create a set of icicles and get them into the game. I think they really put the finishing touches on our icebound villages. So that's a cool little detail. It's not cool that they thought of that. It shows that they really care. They wanna make it look as good as possible. So the Arctic pack will also include two new scenarios which are based in Norway and Mexico. In Norway, you'll begin to work in a sleepy coastal Norwegian town where you'll meet our four new animals. This scenario is based on a festive themed zoo where you'll have plenty of space to expand and become familiar with these new species. Then in Mexico, you'll begin in a modern, big budget zoo with several operational habitats. Here, managing and expanding the sprawling zoo with the new species will be the challenge of taking care of them in an environment that's quite alien to them. So I assume that they might have some sort of mechanic to do with these Arctic animals, and hopefully that'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing the players have their polar bears in their zoos, as they have unique set of requirements will have a great challenge for even the experienced players. They require vast areas of land, like in the wild, because polar bears are actually the animal, no, I can't even say it properly. They are the they have the largest home range of any land animal. They have often range for about over 1 million kilometers, so they do require a lot of space, and they are very hard to keep in zoos. And we see, it would be interesting to see how people try and take care of them. Absolutely, and always we're really keen to see what the community managed to do, both with our tools we give them, as well as their seemingly inexhaustible creativity. And I definitely agree with that. So what's coming in this pack? We're getting over 200 new pieces, including Nordic Viking themed sets. We are also getting some creative, festive Christmas trees and such. We're getting 4 new animals: reindeer, Arctic wolf, Dall sheep, and polar bear, and 2 new scenarios. The first one being in Norway, where we learn about these animals and get used to them, and then we try and take them to Mexico and take care of them in Mexico, where obviously it's very hot for an animal that's adapted to live in the Arctic. So it'd be really interesting to see that tomorrow, and I'm really interested to give that a play. Plus, I can't say no to new animals. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and bye bye.